Hello, Namaskara. I hope all of you are having a great day. Welcome to the Tuesday Talks, where I'll be, discussing and helping you guys understand many things that you have to know about your own self and with respect to, life in general. So today I'll be, telling you about. We'll be discussing about a couple of things about pranayama. Most of you would have been practicing breathing technique, which I never use, and the actual word that is being used in the Yoga Sutras or for anyone who's been initiated into the practice of yoga is the proper word, the actual word is pranayama. Now, what is pranayama? Where did it come from? What does it mean? What does prana mean? What does ayama mean? And how does this? What does it mean? How does the vital energy expand in us? So this is what I'll be sharing with you guys today. See, the word prana means vital energy that is there in each one of us, because of which we are alive even to this particular day. For each and every one of us to be alive in the physical body, we need energy, for which we consume food and we do certain set of practices to keep the body healthy. But on a bit subtler level, prana comes through the breath you inhale. It's very subtle. And even through the food also. We even say food is the direct means of absorption of prana in the initial stages. But as and when you grow ahead and you go beyond the limitations of food, breath becomes more important to you. And all the vital energy that is needed for the functioning of the body and the mind comes through the breath. Imagine if this is happening, shouldn't you take a few minutes a day to just make sure proper food is fed to the mind? I mean, imagine you spend so much of time and energy in cooking to feed the physical body. But what about the mind? Don't you need proper nutrition for the functioning of the mind? And if that doesn't happen, the mind just becomes very dull rather. You have to keep it alert and most importantly alive. This is one of the most important reasons for practicing pranayama. There are hundreds. I'll be discussing with you guys as and when the time passes by. Now, coming back to what is prana? As I said in the beginning, prana is the vital energy because of which you are alive. The best example to illustrate this is, imagine how heavy your body will be when others lift, when you don't put any effort in lifting the body up. Or to be more precise, to lift a person who is dead, you need 6 people. Okay, because the energy has left the physical body. But in order to lift the person who is conscious, but he just needs a bit of assistance, one person enough. One person is enough. So that thing which keeps you alive and intact is what you can call as prana. This is one of the simplest examples, simplest way of defining it. I'll be sharing with you a lot of other definitions also. So prana is the vital energy because of which you're alive. What does ayama mean? Ayama means the expansion. Pranayama, prana, ayama. So pranayama means expansion within you, especially here in the thoracic region. Expansion of the vital energy to each and every nook and corner of the body and the mind is what we call as pranayama. And how does this happen? How does this expansion of the vital energy happen in an individual? Is This happens through practicing 8 different retention techniques, what we call as the breathing practices. So according to Hatha Yoga, which is one of the most important texts in the study of yoga, there are 8 different retention techniques. Retention means where you hold your breath. Okay. See, for any kind of expansion to happen, a growth to happen, you have to take a break, pause, rethink, and then start working, right? Like what you're doing right now when you're in a quarantine period or when you're on a lockdown. You've taken a break from life, you're rethinking everything, right? Rethinking every action, every inaction that you had done or hadn't done in a couple of years, and then you're starting to do it. How? Now, because you've taken a pause now. Life is on a break now. The same way, for the prana, the vital energy to expand in you, you have to pause. If you just breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out, you'll be doing this throughout your life. This is going to be absolutely doesn't make any sense at all. For you to grow, you have to take break. Like how you have. You're forced to take break right now. This has to happen every now and then, not just once in a year. Like you have to take break from your own life every single day, at least for a couple of minutes. Exactly, you need break from your own self. This is what happens in pranayama. So for this expansion, for the vital energy to expand within you, because you'll say, okay, I'm doing a lot of breathing techniques and still still nothing is happening in me. I can't reach this peaceful state of mind that I am craving for. This is because you're not observing what is happening. It is very important. You pause, you observe, feel, and then stretch. If you just practice a set of things that are taught in general, it doesn't apply to you. Your lung capacity is different compared to the other person. The lifestyle is different. The way you think is different. Everything is different. And growth is not common to everyone. Each person grows by his or her capacity based on their understanding and intelligence. So for this expansion of the vital energy to happen, we practice retention techniques. 8 different retention techniques, what we call as breath holding techniques. This is what is Surya Vedana, Ujjayi, Shitali, Shitkari, Bhastrika, Brahmari, Morcha, Plavini. These are the 8 retention techniques. This is one of the shloka that comes in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Surya Vedana, Ujjayi, Shitali, Shitkarita, Bhastrika, Brahmari, Morcha, Plavini, Stashta, Kumbhakam. So these are the Ashta Kumbhakas, the 8 Kumbhakas, 8 different retention techniques. I even tell most of my students also, like, don't ever call it as a pranayama. Don't call it as Brahmari pranayama or Nadi Sodhana pranayama or Surya Vedana pranayama. After you understand what it is. Initial stages, it's most easiest way to teach. But these are retention techniques. So when you practice these 8 retention techniques, 8 different means of retention techniques, then the prana expands in you. Ayama happens, pranayama happens. You don't sit and you tell others, okay, I'm sitting for pranayama now. No, there is no guarantee the expansion of the vital energy will happen just because you're doing one or the other kind of breathing practices. No, you have to hold. There's a particular ratio. There's a particular duration in which you inhale, you hold your breath, you exhale, and then there's a particular season in which you start the practice and how you go about. Everything is very systematic. And if you don't go the way you don't practice the way it has to be done, then definitely it won't be of any help. The 8 different retention techniques, all of them have the same or what do you say, the core reason behind practicing any kind of the 8 retention techniques, what we very vaguely call as the pranayamas, is the same. What? You should be able to develop the ability to retention, to hold the breath, by doing any of these 8 retention techniques, which is the Surya Vedana, Chandra Vedana, Bhastrika, Brahmari, Morcha, Plavini, you should develop the ability to hold the breath. No, just because I told this today doesn't mean okay you just sit and try to hold your breath for up to 1 minute. No, gradually by practicing these inhalation, exhalation, the different techniques, you should be able to develop the ability to extend the breath. The depth of the inhalation should increase, the depth of the exhalation should increase. But the first thing that you have to keep in mind is, if you're starting off initially with the pranayama practice, inhalation and exhalation must be 1:1 ratio initially. After some time, when you feel comfortable with your own self, there is no discomfort in the the thoracic region, and you don't feel like you're constraining all your facial muscles, then you can go to 1:2 ratio, like 1 ratio inhalation, 2 times is the exhalation. This is the first standard ratio, and after that it goes on and on. You inhale, you hold your breath, observe, and you perform even the bandhas, the Jalandhar bandha, there's Uddiyana bandha, there's Mula bandha, there's a lot of other bandhas also, which we call as locks, which we perform in order to retain the energy from the breath that we inhale. Understood? See, because you're inhaling and in your exhaling, if you're exhaling, where is the energy being absorbed? After you breathe in, you have to hold for the energy that you have inhaled through the breath to reach and sit inside you. The breath can't be like a guest who just comes and leaves, and it has there's no effect, any effect on the house other than just the presence for a couple of seconds. Why do you feel like you're at home? Because the people who stay at home, they live over there. The energy makes the place. The same way, the breath that you inhale has the prana, and when the prana sits in you, that's when you feel like, okay, there is expansion of the breath. Actually, for you to feel that the breath is, the prana that is coming through the breath is sitting in you, you have to pause. Only when you hold, it's possible for you to feel this expansion of breath. Without retention, it's just like a breathing exercise. You can't even call it as breathing technique, and it's kind of funny also at the same time. So understand the meaning of the word pranayama. Prana is the vital energy, ayama is the expansion. So any kind of retention techniques or breathing techniques that you do helps you in reaching the state of pranayama. This is the first basic thing that you have to know if you are about to start your journey on the practice of pranayama. Understood? Prana means the vital energy, ayama means expansion of the breath. The first word that you have to have a very, very proper understanding about pranayama. Okay? I hope you liked it. Let me know how you felt in the comments below, so that and if you have any questions, please do feel free to ask them. I'll try my best to answer them. Hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.